It's not just about squatting. It's about teaching your body how to pray for the transformation you're seeking. When you land on the ground with intention, your body registers safety. Your breath finally reaches the lower belly, and the anxiety that won't let go begins to ease right away. What almost no one teaches is hidden in an invisible detail: the tripod of the foot and the sliding of a bone called the talus, which unlocks everything when you place the right amount of weight in the right place. A locked lower back, stiff hips, a looping mind, all of that begins at the base that no longer holds. And your whole body is waiting for you to recognize what it's been silently asking for. Right now, as you listen to me, place your feet on the floor. Feel the weight distributed across 3 points: the base of your big toe, the outer edge of your foot, and your heel. Just observe. What's about to happen in the next few minutes will reorganize what you thought was just physical tension, but is actually a blocked somatic code waiting to be acknowledged. Your whole body is asking for this prayer, and I'm going to teach you exactly how it happens. You squat every day, but squatting to reorganize your entire body, to modulate your nervous system and bring presence back to your center. That's something no one teaches anymore. In ancient mystery schools, conscious descent wasn't movement, it was restoration. Returning your weight to the ground so that awareness can find its center, so the body temple can once again read with a sense of safety. The resting squat was a grounding code, a gesture that realigns the head, spine, and pelvis from the bottom up. When the base holds, something in the body understands that it can stop defending itself, and then the mind lets go. Breath, muscle tone, and attentive focus. Everything reorganizes from this one signal: I am supported, I can rest. But modern life has lifted you off the ground. High chairs, rigid shoes, flat floors, all of that has disrupted your foundation and taught your body to live in chronic vigilance. Without real support in the feet, without allowing your weight to descend, the body reads the absence of ground as a constant threat. The lower back compensates, the hips harden, the diaphragm locks, and the mind loops because there's no structure holding it in place. What you're feeling is not weakness. It's a body that has forgotten the language of the ground and now tries to hold everything up on its own without foundation. What changes when you return to the base isn't strength, it's internal awareness. The body finally recognizes there is ground, there is support, I can let go. And from that recognition, everything begins to reorganize. In Hermeticism, the base that supports governs everything that rises above it. The human body was designed as a vertical temple, a central axis connecting sky and earth, matter and awareness. When that axis loses its connection to the ground, when the feet stop holding the weight with real presence, the temple loses cohesion. The structure may still be standing, but the internal awareness collapses. What seems like mere physical discomfort is actually a loss of center. And without center, there's no place for the mind to land. Stephen Porges, in his studies of the vagus nerve, discovered that it only modulates calm and social presence when the body senses real structural support. Without a base that holds, the nervous system remains in a state of preparation, even when there's no external threat. The breath rises into the chest, the heart speeds up, the deep muscles contract, all because the body cannot register safety without foundation. Robert Schleip, through his research on fascia, showed that connective tissue doesn't respond to aggressive stretching, but to gentle, sustained load. The resting squat hydrates the fascia, releases adhesions, and restores mobility in measurable ways, because the body finally understands it can release without breaking. Center, load, support, everything comes together in the same gesture. When you lower yourself to the ground with intention, your body is not just moving. It's renegotiating with gravity, re-establishing connection, returning to the structure, the ability to register support. And from that, letting go of everything it no longer needs to hold. The first thing you need to understand is that the blockage is not where you think it is. It's not about limited range of motion. It's not about tight calves, and it's not about stiff hips. It's in the foot. The human foot was designed to function like a tripod. 3 points of contact that distribute weight evenly. The head of the hallux, which is the base of the big toe, the head of the fifth metatarsal, on the outer edge of the foot, and the calcaneus, the heel bone. When that tripod collapses, when you step only on the inner edge or only on the side, when your heel barely touches the floor, your whole body blocks the descent. Not because you're inflexible, but because the foundation is disorganized, and without a clear base, the body will not allow the weight to be released. The detail that almost no one teaches is hidden in a small bone called the talus. It sits between the tibia and the calcaneus, right in the middle of the ankle, and it works as a key joint for all movement. When you try to squat by forcing your range, pushing your knee forward without resolving the foot, the talus locks. It doesn't glide backward, it doesn't release the space needed, and the ankle stays stiff, even after months of stretching the calf. But when you position the 3 points of the foot on the floor, slightly turn your feet outward, and allow the weight to descend with intention instead of effort, the talus finds freedom. It subtly glides backward, the ankle gains real range, and the body reads the movement as safe. From there, the descent begins. Before we go any further, try this. Stand in front of a wall, about 10 centimeters away. Try to touch the wall with your knee without lifting your heel. If you can't do it, or if you can but it takes extreme effort, the talus is locked. Now, reposition your feet. Feel the base of your big toe, the outer edge, and your heel, all 3 points grounded at the same time. Adjust the angle, let your feet turn slightly outward. Breathe, let the weight settle through. All 3 points, try again. The difference is immediate. The knee moves forward, the ankle releases, and the body understands that there is space. Not because you stretched, but because you organized the base, and the talus finally glided into place. That's the key that unlocks everything, and it was always there, waiting for you to notice it. Now that the tripod is aligned, the knees need to follow the same logic. As you descend, guide your knees outward, following the line of your second toes. Don't push, don't force, just let them naturally open, as if they're following the weight that flows down through the 3 points of the foot. What happens to most people is medial collapse. The knees fall inward, the inner thighs compress, and the body locks up before even getting close to the ground. That's not a lack of strength, it's a loss of alignment. When the knees follow the correct direction, the hips gain space, the pelvis finds freedom, and the descent flows without compensating effort. The pelvis is the next area of focus. It needs to yield, not tilt. Imagine there's space between the sit bones, those 2 bones you feel when you sit. As you descend, allow that space to gently open. Let the pelvis widen slightly, without forcing your lower back forward or backward. The lower back doesn't need to do anything, it simply follows. The movement comes from the base, grounded feet, knees opening, and a pelvis that yields to gravity. When that happens, the entire body understands it can let go, and your breath finally drops. Place your hands over your lower belly. Take a slow breath, 3 full cycles. Feel the abdominal wall expanding outward, as if the air were filling the bowl of your pelvis, not your chest. When the breath drops, the diaphragm regains its full range. The solar plexus softens, and the nervous system receives its first clear signal that it can leave alert mode. From this moment on, the body begins to release. The mouth, which felt dry, starts to salivate again. Saliva is a direct marker of an active ventral parasympathetic state, the state in which your body finally rests, digests, and restores. If your mouth softens and saliva returns, you'll know something has shifted inside. Another sign may appear, a fine tremor, small involuntary shakes in the thighs, calves, or lower back. Do not try to control it. The tremor is not weakness, it is neuromuscular release. Patterns of holding stored in the fascia, in the muscle tone, begin to loosen. The body is letting go of what it has held for too long, and then comes the sigh. Spontaneous, long, accompanied by a gentle relaxation in the shoulders. This sigh is a recalibration of tone, the organism adjusting its internal tension to a level that finally matches reality. There is no threat, there is ground, there is support. When these three signs appear, saliba, tremor, sieg, you have confirmation that the body is interpreting safety. And from that point on, everything reorganizes. What you have just learned now needs to become a daily practice. Choose a moment in your day. It could be in the morning before anything begins, or at night when the house is quiet, and set aside 3 continuous minutes to descend to the ground. This is not a workout. It is not a set of repetitions. It is a ritual. Place the 3 points of the foot, guide the knees outward, let the pelvis yield, and take 3 deep breaths with your hands over your lower belly. Stay there, feeling the weight, observing what happens when your body finally recognizes that there is ground. These 3 minutes reorganize everything from fascial tone to your attentive pulse, and from that moment, the rest of your day changes. But you also need a somatic reminder, something that brings you back to your center whenever nervousness rises or your attention scatters. When you feel anxiety building, when your mind begins to loop, stop. Place your feet on the floor wherever you are. Feel the 3 points, the base of your big toe, the outer edge, and the heel. Breathe low, expanding the lower belly. Just that, tripod and breath. In seconds, your body registers support, your nervous system adjusts, and you return to the present. You do not need anything else. You only need to remember that the ground was always there. After a few days, test it. Try standing up from the floor without using your hands. Notice if it feels easier, more fluid. Listen to your voice. Is it softer, less tense? Look in the mirror and observe the quality of your gaze. Is there presence? Is there clarity? Feel your lower back and your hips. Are they more available, less guarded? Pay attention to your digestion. Does it flow better, with less restriction? All these signs are measurable, concrete. This is not belief. It is a direct reading of somatic change. If you still cannot place your heels on the floor, use minimal support. Place a thin cushion, a low book, something that raises the heel just enough so that you can keep the 3 points active and the pelvis yielding. The meaning of the gesture remains intact. Over time, the talus glides, the fascia softens, and the support is no longer needed. But until then, keep the prayer, because your body does not need perfection to reorganize. It needs intention, presence, and recognition. And when you give that to it, it responds. Mobility returns, inner quiet settles in, presence becomes something you feel that very same day, not as a distant promise, as a fact. Trisha was 57 years old when she realized her body no longer responded. No matter how much she tried to calm herself, the anxiety persisted. Her lower back would lock up in the middle of the afternoon, and the feeling of alertness never stopped, even when she was alone at home with nothing happening. Her body lived in preparation for something that never arrived. She breathed, but the air only reached her chest. She tried to relax, but her hips remained rigid, as if they were holding something she could not name. Trisha prayed with words, asked for clarity, asked for relief, but the prayer never reached her body. It stayed suspended in her mind, without root, without response. When she learned that squatting was embodied prayer, something shifted. The first time she placed the 3 points of her feet on the floor and descended with intention, her breath dropped into the lower belly without effort. The hips, which had never yielded, finally opened, and the mind stopped spinning, not because Trisha decided to stop thinking, but because her body registered safety and finally settled. What she had been searching for through words for years, her body answered in 3 minutes of silence on the ground. The prayer that could not find its way through the mind found its access through the base. In the following days, Trisha noticed that presence had returned, not as some distant spiritual idea, but as a concrete sensation of being whole, grounded, and no longer fragmented. Decisions flowed more easily, conversations became lighter, and the inner connection that once felt lost was restored, because her body temple had finally found its ground again, and from there, everything realigned. The body does not forget what it has just recognized. Now, you have physical markers that confirm integration. The breath that stays low, anchored in the lower belly even after standing. The subtle warmth in the sternum, a sign that the chest is no longer contracted. The jaw that softens, releasing its grip on invisible tension. The solar plexus, less armored, less defensive. These signs are not abstract. You feel them, you recognize them, you confirm that something has changed. Now define the gesture, the signal that anchors all of this. Whenever nervousness rises, whenever distraction takes over, stop. Touch the 3 points of your foot, the base of the big toe, the outer edge, and the heel, and take a deep, expansive breath into the lower belly. 30 seconds. That simple gesture brings the body back to the state it just recognized as safe. And when you need a deeper point of return, use this. The ground supports, the body prays. Say it silently in your mind. Position the tripod. Exhale slowly. The axis resets. The mind settles, and you return to the present. Not through effort, but through recognition. When the base holds, the body reads safety, and the mind finally stops fragmenting. The resting squat is not a movement, not a posture, not a technique. It is a restoration of access, an embodied prayer that returns presence to the temple you inhabit. Simone well once wrote, "Absolute attention is prayer." When you descend to the ground with intention, when you allow the weight to spread across the 3 points and your breath to reach the lower belly, you are not simply adjusting your body, you are praying with your entire structure, returning to your organism the language it has always spoken, but that a rushed life made you forget. God inscribed the code into the very architecture of the body. Feet that support, a spine that rises, a pelvis that yields, breath that descends. All of it is design, not accident. When you recognize the ground, when you give your body the signal that real support is there, you are not inventing anything new. You are remembering what has always been there, etched into fascia, into bone, into nerve. The body was made to read safety from the base, to regulate presence through weight, to reorganize awareness through alignment. And when you return that to it, it responds with a clarity that no word can reach. What you were searching for out there in complex practices, in distant promises, in techniques that never got to the root, was waiting in the simplest gesture, lowering yourself to the ground, settling your weight, and letting your body pray for you. The transformation you're feeling is not an illusion. It is a direct reading of somatic change, a reorganization that begins at the base and rises to the mind, to presence, to the inner connection you thought was lost. The ground was always there. You just needed to remember to return. And now that you have, your whole body recognizes there is access, there is support, there is prayer. And from that, everything comes back together. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This helps us share this field of knowledge even further with those who are searching for real reconnection with the body temple. I want to know how this somatic prayer reached you. Write in the comments. I lower myself to the ground and let my body pray for me. This affirmation seals your presence on the path of embodied liturgy, a form of prayer that needs no words, only weight, intention, and recognition. Share this video with someone you know needs to remember this lost language, this code the body has always spoken, but that was forgotten in the rush and fragmentation. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformative video from the channel. Each discovery brings you closer to the temple you have always inhabited, but maybe never recognized so clearly. Remember, when you return to your body the prayer it's been asking for, when the base finally holds and the mind settles into its axis, everything reorganizes, not as belief, as direct, measurable, undeniable experience. The ground was always there, you just needed to return.